Guys, what is happening, YouTubers? S4J back again, here to bring you the coolest battles of yesterday and today. And I have a battle randomly picked by one of my subscribers, my new subscribers here. He's actually new to YouTube battling. He wants to get into it more so into the battling perspective of Pokemon itself. So he brought something that, he brought a team that like he felt more comfortable with. Then again, this is not necessarily a specified tier battle. It's not OU, it's not underused, it's not never used or anything like that. So what I did is after the battle, I sent him to smallgun.com so he can get familiarized with some of the different tierings and some of the other Pokemon that are happen to be, more so used in different tiers and things like that, just to familiarize himself a little bit more so with the competitive aspect of the game. So here I just decided to bring a underused team so that I could be a little bit more balanced and prepared for, I guess, whatever he might bring in, knowing full well that he wasn't necessarily too complacent or too knowledgeable about how the teams, how the tiers and the teams within the specified tiers operate. So, for instance, he has the SKL Bascular here, and he's going for the Swords Dance, but the problem with that is that I'm behind a substitute, and Zapdos in this case does happen to have access to Heat Wave, and he didn't necessarily do a check with like switch out and switch in and things like that, just to scout to see if I did have the Heat Wave, despite him having the light screen on his side of the field. So little things like that, tidbits like that, is why you go to smallgun.com and you try to familiarize yourself with the game and try to increase your level of play in that sense. I'm not necessarily trying to say that he's a newbie or anything like that, but we all started up new. I mean, when I first went onto YouTube, I fought against Certs and I lost badly to him, and I had like a Snorlax and a Slacking. I thought I was the shit, but everybody starts off from some point. So anyway, I'm rambling on. He's gonna go for a secondary Swords Dance now that I'm exposed with the Zapdos here in play, and I'm like, maybe I can just probably finish you off with another Thunderbolt, I guess, seeing that now the 8 turns of the light clay, the light clay boosted light screen will be dissipated. But he goes back out into his Bronzong, I guess scared of him taking ×2 more, since the light screen did cut my Thunderbolt's damage in half. But that was a very bad play on his part, because what happens is now that he takes ×2 Thunderbolts, he's not going to be able to set up his light screen ever again, since Bronzong bit the dust. In comes the Sock, and I'm like, okay, let me just go for my Hitmontop just to intimidate a little bit. I know he's going to probably try to go for the Stone Edge. This is perfect here. I don't have the close combat. Actually, my only priority move is Sucker Punch, I believe that's what it is. So I have like Toxic, Stone Edge, and Sucker Punch and Rapid Spin. Toxic on the switch, but normally, under normal circumstances, Toxic on the switch. But Sock is in play. I want to be able to break his sturdy, so I Toxic it, and then he's gonna go for the bulk up, right? So I'm just gonna go straight into Donphan just to take whatever he might want to dish out. He goes for the close combat, and being Donphan, the great tank that it is going to take that pretty well. So I'm thinking like, okay, he probably has -1 defense, but not really, because he did go for the bulk up and then afterwards go for the close combat. So his defense is back up to the same, to its original base power. He goes for the reversal. I guess that was a misclick there. I guess he didn't want to show me that just yet. Goes for the reversal and doesn't necessarily do too much to Donphan. 2 reasons: because Donphan is a defensive tank and Sock is not at a low enough HP for reversal's base power to be considerable offensively. So I'm just going to switch out into my Zapdos, right? He's going to go for a secondary bulk up, I guess. Now he has +1 attack thanks to my switching earlier with the Hitmontop's Intimidate. So Toxic is taking a little bit of damage. I wasn't necessarily too sure if my Zapdos would outspeed at that moment. I know Zapdos is naturally faster, but then again, it doesn't necessarily have any speed investments onto it, and that's the thing that made me want to switch back out to my Hitmontop, just accumulate toxic damage and then hit it with the Sucker Punch for the kill. But unfortunately for me, because I'm not packing enough attack investments on my Hitmontop, Sucker Punch is not going to be enough to kill, and I'm going to take a boosted reversal. But fortunately for me, since I did intimidate it twice, I am definitely going to be able to survive that miraculously. So that was crazy. I was a little bit afraid. I'm like, wow, he might actually knock out Hitmotop after I saw the reversal. But you know, thanks to the intimidation and things like that, the double switches and the accumulated damage with the toxic, my Hitmotop was able to survive. So in comes a Victini. I'm thinking that he might know that Hitmotop does get access to Sucker Punch. I'm not too sure if a lot of other users happen to use Sucker Punch on Hitmotop itself, but I'm one of those users that I just have to have Sucker Punch on every Hitmotop that I have to make. So I'm thinking that he was aware of that, so hence why I went for the Stone Edge as opposed to going for Hitmotop. I thought he was like gonna probably try to double switch. I always give my opponent, for some reason, that benefit of the doubt. It's like I'm so used to people double switching on me and things like that that I just take measures naturally against moves like that. So I knew that he was gonna switch out into his S-Cavalier. See, I said it again, S-Vascular. That's the incorrect pronunciation. S-Cavalier, so easy. Switched out into his S-Cavalier only to take ×2 seismic tosses. I really was about to say seismic punches. That's interesting. So now in comes a Lapras. So I'm like, okay, let me just go for the toxic. Yes, that's crazy. So as long as you're not like curse rest, I'm feeling pretty good. He goes to the raw, right? Which is interesting, and it's rolls me straight out into Zapdos. I know that since he goes for the raw, I'm just gonna go for the substitute just to try to accumulate the toxic damage as he goes for the offensive move, which I did predict. I predicted him to go for the Ice Beam since he already revealed that he had the raw. I know Ice Beam would eventually break this up, but I wanted him to take a little bit more damage with the Life Orb and the toxic. So now he's at orange, and I go for the Thunderbolt, and I think at this range, Thunderbolt will be enough to finish off the Lapras at that case. So that was great there, and I have my Zapdos in play as he brings out I forget his next Pokemon, Victini, and Victini takes stuff rock damage. I think I'm just gonna stay and go for the Thunderbolt. It actually surprised me that I was a little bit faster because I don't necessarily have too much speed investments on my Zapdos. He goes for the Thunder and gets the 30% paralysis that Thunder gives available to the users that use it. So he gets the paralysis hacks, and he's just gonna die from the toxic damage, I guess, after I switch right back out into Chansey, just to sponge whatever it has to dish out to my Pokemon. So Chansey's a special, obviously, and it takes the Psychic pretty well, and Victini bites the dust. So that was actually a great game. Viewers, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Definitely had a lot of fun. Peace. What you doing?